look good.
Good morning.
I look good in that damn Sears sucker suit. You talking shit. I look good in that damn suit.
I was just talking about what our intro is gonna look like. I didn't say you didn't look good. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to We Have Something to Say.
Hold on. First of all, it wasn't what you said. It's what you did.
What did I do? Don't give me.
It was what you said. It's what you did.
But you like. That's how you do. You do your poses that when you had the seersucker and dresses. You be like. Oh man, when you post your pictures, which I love, even when you took your pictures in your wetsuit, you do like this with your canister.
That's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about. I don't know what you talking about. Oh, but you ain't said no introduction and that. You just talking and laughing and shit.
I said good morning. We were laughing so hard. I said good morning, everybody. Welcome to We Have Something to Say. Kenneth, Lively, and Leonard Watkins.
No, we got something to say. Now we got something to say.
Now we get something. we get to say something.
We gonna get it in. We gonna get it in.
Say something. Hey man,
with an I, not an O, not an E, with an I. We gonna get it in.
Hey, and for those of you wondering what's going on with my camera, I don't know. I told Kenneth I must have an adaptive screen. I don't know how to work. Because watch this. I've been trying to figure it out since 9:15 this morning. Like, why is my camera so dark? And I see my screen keeps doing this adaptive thing. Is adapting to, I guess, the light. I guess that's what it's doing, but I can't make it no dark in here. So, but anyway, man,
you know what? That's what happened when you go get your computer from QT. That confused your computer. That's what happened. The screen started messing up on you.
Look, if QT sells Dell's QT sells Dell and sells it cheaper. Look, I'm not a bougie buyer when it comes to stuff like that. It's the same ice. That's what's wrong with y'all. That's what's wrong with y'all. You think somebody ice better than yours? I'm cool with QT ice. It's ice nonetheless. But anyway, it's been an interesting week for me. I think it's been an interesting week and a fairly tragic week. I want to say this. Look, I don't care how mad we are, how much we can get disgusted, how much we think people should learn lessons that they've been teaching us for a long time. I'm never going to make light of 27 8-year-olds being picked up by a river at night drowning. I'm just not. I can't do that. I'm not losing my humanity because these motherfuckers done lost their humanity. I'm not doing that. I'm not. I get the point people are trying to make. I get that, people have been so destructive to our community and our kids for so long. But one thing I've always liked about our community is when we see something, we typically have the empathy to, hey, Marion. Welcome, Marion.
Good morning.
Look who's on, Kenneth. Welcome, Marion McMillan.
Good morning, Dr. Lively.
Dr. Lively, your screen.
Welcome, Marion.
Dr. Lively is mute. That's a good sign.
Good morning. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, sir.
Look, he can't just get on here and troll us now, Kenneth. Now we have Rob. Now we have Roz.
I want to say something.
And look, Kenneth, I'm gonna warn you. Roz protective of Marion, so don't joke on him too bad, because she will jump on here in these comments and start trolling us. So handle Marion gently, because Roz don't play that. I'm just telling you. She'll see her in the screen. She'll come back up in the screen.
Okay.
Let you know, Roz protective of Marion. Look, no doubt. But what I was saying is, one of the things, Marion, I was saying that no matter what happens, I'm never not going to have empathy for 27 8-year-olds getting swept up in a flood for the lack of preparation by their parents and their grandparents. I can't even imagine the horror they were going through with small grandchildren and how they think. And I understand what people are doing. They're saying, you know, they got what they deserve. I don't necessarily know if the children got what they deserved. But I've always liked that Black people have had an unlimited well of empathy, in the sense that we don't really want stuff that's been done to us to be done to other people. I think it's this thing that goes around on Instagram where these white women have told their children, if you ever get lost, the first Black woman you see, go find her. And the fact that could even trend that statement says something about what you laughing about. What you laughing about, Dr. Lively? What you laughing about, Dr. Lively? You're on mute. You're on mute. Is your microphone connected? There you go. Microphone connected. You can't unmute your guests because they chose to mute themselves. Unmute yourself. There you go. Kenneth, we can't hear you. You are muted. You are muted. We can't hear you. Unmute yourself. There you go with that janky mic cord. See? Look, maybe God trying to tell you something. I'm about to put that song on right now. Maybe God. There you go. Now talk.
All right. Okay. So what I was saying was, I muted myself because I was coughing. I didn't want to interrupt your long, heartfelt soliloquy. So I said I will go ahead and mute myself so I wouldn't disturb you. But since you want to have jokes this morning,
thanks for calling,
because you finally feel what it's like to be dark skinned. Now you talking all this stuff. But I digress.
Look.
You had all that light skin privilege your whole life. Now you feel what it's like to be dark skinned, and you can't handle it. See,
you really
going on right now.
You're like, wait,
you are projecting your frustration upon me, and I'm just sitting back here, honoring your soliloquy, your speech, about Black women's empathy, and I was laughing because that does sound funny to me.
Okay, the funny part is that you think you dark skinned. Like you don't
I never said I was dark skinned. I said you finally found out what it was like to be dark skinned. That's what I said.
My bad.
I never said I was dark skinned. I'm mocha.
Okay. Anyway, the fact that those people, and it's coming out that particular county that's called Flood Valley, that particular county was trying to reject $10.8 million from the Biden administration to increase their warning systems. Somebody put it best. Y'all hate people so bad that y'all will injure yourselves just to prove your point. And it's just mind-boggling to me. I'm never going to. I hope I'm always not going to understand that. It's like 28, all those kids, all those children. Golly, I just don't get it. But I can't go down that route. Just like I get when people say, hey man, they voted for it. Me and Marion have talked about this many times, because Marion's viewpoint and my little brother's viewpoint, and I'm starting to come to the same viewpoint, is until the pain is hard enough or strong enough, people are going to just keep doing the same thing. And pain seems to be the greatest motivator to make you stop with certain behavior. So that's my
and I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, just it's ridiculous.
I concur.
So the fact that we did go ahead.
I was gonna say they're starting to feel the pain, and it hasn't even got to the bad part yet. in my opinion, because
Not even close.
once those cuts come through, once those cuts come through, they're gonna catch hell. They are going to catch hell, and they're going to realize. I shouldn't say real quick. They should have already realized it real quick, but they're going to realize ultimately that one, they got played. They got played for real. Their own discriminatory beliefs, their own prejudices, and all that stuff is going to come back to haunt them more than it will haunt us. Because as people have rightfully said, we've been down this road before. Our ancestors went down. Our generations that's around now, Leonard's and mine, Uncle Marion's has dealt with it. They dealt with the tail end of it. But we felt these. Our people have felt these before. We know what's coming. We felt some of this before. So we're prepared. And those who aren't prepared are going to get prepared. The people who voted for him, they don't know. They don't know what's coming. We've told them what's coming, but they don't know it. They don't know the full extent of it. They don't understand it. And when it hits them, it's going to hit them hard. The fact that, they keep talking about numbers in reference to how many people are going to lose their Medicaid benefits and all of these things. That hasn't hit home with these people yet, because one of the things that I'll say that this was a very big strategic move that the Republicans did. They put that down to go into place with 2027 after the midterm elections. So these people who are stuck in this, he ain't doing wrong and he's doing right by us bullshit mentality, they're not going to feel that pain until 2027. And guess what the Republicans are going to do? Oh, it's Democrats' fault. They did this. They're the ones who they're in charge now. They're the ones that's allowing this to happen to you. That was a very big strategic move. I mean, that was brilliant. Now, it's up to the Democrats to actually push back, continue talking about this and pushing this narrative, the real narrative forward, the truth forward, and seeing what and allowing people to have the information, the right information. But then again, there's always going to be those people who don't want to believe it anyway. You can throw them in the water and tell them it's wet, and they still tell you lying. That's what we have in America now. People just that damn ignorant. You can throw them in water, tell them it's wet, and they'll swear up and down it's not wet.
Go for it, Mary. Go for it.
Oh, and also too.
Now I see what you have to deal with.
Okay, hold on. Let's I want to say something before we do this. Remember, Linda, you keep saying that my internet. Yeah, but let me say this before I do this, because something just happened. So remember, we talked about how my internet keeps glitching. He talked for 9 minutes and I talked for 2. Y'all have been laughing like I've been talking forever. Can I say what I was going to say? You keep talking about my internet is glitching. I am at a hotel and my the Wi-Fi thing is 15 feet from where I'm sitting. So it ain't got nothing to do with my internet. Somebody is trying to stop us from talking, because there's no reason why we should be glitching, right? At least not my part anyway, unless it's one of y'all. But mine shouldn't be glitching.
Well, I'm out in the country. I got an excuse.
I'm serious. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
go ahead, man.
What I was getting ready to say, Kerr County has been documented, voted down to get a system for early warning. They voted that down. It's documented. So it is on them. Whereas a county 20, 25 miles above them voted for an early warning system and they had no casualties.
Wow. I did not know that.
So it is on them. That's why every time it comes up for they have a conference or whatever, you see where the Kerr County folks don't even show up. Like you can't ask them any questions. because they know it's coming. When this is all over, just like what happened with the shooting in Texas, where where all the Texas Rangers and the State Patrol and everybody else was sitting on the sideline. This is going to blow up the same.
Yeah, yeah. And they're going to forget it.
I was going to say two things I want to push back on. I don't have any faith in white Texans because they didn't get rid of Greg Abbott. They didn't get rid of Ted Cruz. They didn't get rid of Ted Cruz after that blizzard, after that storm hit the state. They didn't get rid of Ted Cruz, and he was
Mexico.
He on vacation.
He can't go.
He went to Cancun.
He wearing shorts, doing a press conference in shorts.
I am beyond the point. I want to back a little bit because look, Marion, Kenneth's gonna echo what I'm about to say. Don't get on here and not be throwing the bombs that you be throwing in the comments. Don't get on here and be nice, Kenneth. Kenneth keep going. The evidence shows that anything else he'll be like, why y'all not talk about Beyonce's racism, big butt, anything? And he gonna come on here and now he wanna.
I'm trying to be mannerable.
We want to mannerable. I wouldn't have brought you on here.
I'm trying to be mannerable.
I already told you.
Wow.
So, but I want to say
this. Dangerous up in here. Let me get off this thing. I ain't gonna stop. It's getting dangerous up in here.
You stay right there because I like when you said black folks prepare for this. No, the hell we ain't.
By the way, I thought you were on the train.
No, hold on.
Yeah, he thought you were on the train. He said you were on a train somewhere. I was like, what? That's what he texted me yesterday. What train you on? That's what I want to know. What train you on?
That's a long story. That's a long trip and a long story. But to answer your question, Leonard, to respond to your question or your statement, when I say we're prepared, I'm not saying we're prepared wholeheartedly 100%. I'm not saying that. Not even close. No. What I'm saying is we are better qualified to deal with this because some of these things they've been trying to do to us for years anyway.
Kenneth,
they've been taking away some of our rights and
people our age, me, you, and Marion might be because your mama made you prepared and my parents made me prepared. These new folks ain't got a clue. And I'm like, Marion,
they will have to feel the pain.
I don't want to go back down that road, but I'm about to.
Yeah, we're going back down the road. Yeah,
we're going back 50, 60 years.
We're definitely going back in the past. But like I said, historically, we can handle this.
Let's talk history.
Historically, we're prepared for this because unfortunately, it's in our DNA to survive stuff like this. It's in our DNA. Adapt and overcome. Like Leonard. Well, I don't know. You went to Morehouse. You might. Yeah, you went to Morehouse. You might not have got this message. But one thing, I was talking to somebody from Tuskegee, and I said one thing that Tuskegee prepared me for was how to adapt and overcome situations. Period. It taught me how to survive at a young age. At 18, I figured I had to figure out the cheat code at 18 because unfortunately they were lacking certain things and all that, and I had to figure out how to make my way. So Tuskegee prepared me for that. Now I don't know if you had that problem at Morehouse that's something they taught y'all to do, but I know people who black people, we've been taught to, at least like you said, our generation. Young ones may not. That we raised them soft, but we've been taught to any situation that comes up that we need to figure out how to survive. Rob Peter to pay Paul, and then stick up Paul so you can pay Pauline. That's what we've always had to do. Had to fight to those of us who didn't grow up in the middle class or higher had to figure out how we were going to pay this bill when that bill is due, how to get the lights turned back on, or whatever.
Are you
we had
saying
to
the
figure it
Leonard
out.
grew up middle class, upper middle class?
So what?
Are you implying that Leonard grew up upper middle class?
Oh yeah, Leonard was great.
Hey Karen, hey Miss Pritchard. Hey, look. First of all,
you know, do you know who Karen? You know who Karen Pritchard is?
Don't have a clue, but I'm gonna treat her like she's a friend
That's
of mine.
Karen Mims. See, I know he did. Karen, I know he didn't know who you was. Okay, he said Miss Pritchard. That's Karen Mims from Glen Hills.
I know that part when you said Mims, but I didn't know who Karen.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Right. That's that. See, when you said hello, Miss Pritchard, I figured you didn't know who you was. See, I figured out your patterns right now. When you don't know who somebody is, you call them by their last name, Mr. or Miss, because you know how old she was. But
Karen, I bring up your age, Karen. So, but anyway, what I wanted to say was, look, Marion learned how to do that too, being that one of maybe 5 specs on that Mercer campus.
Well, true.
But there were a lot of Richmond County Augusta specs from Josie and Laney High School.
How many black people on Mercer's campus when you went to school, Marion? Besides you and Rob, how many?
Let me put it this way: in my graduating class, there were 22 black folks.
Woo! Hallelujah!
22.
That was a lot.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Look, y'all.
What year was that again?
We're right here, Ron.
When I graduated from Mercer in 1974, there were 22 black folks in my class.
Okay. 22 black folks. But you know what this guy's doing, the stuff that, you know, he is an expert at keeping the cameras on him. I mean, every time you think we hit rock bottom area, every time I think it can't go no worse than this, he gets up and says, did he say, what was it last week? Oh, guys are going to be ours. And the lady said, how? He says it's going to be ours. He says it's going to be ours. It's going to be ours. We'll get them beautiful homes somewhere. He's talking about displacing all the Palestinians. We'll get them beautiful homes elsewhere. But it's going to be ours. And I'm like, God dang. You know, it comes out yesterday, the DOJ is going after all these people who are naturalized citizens, who went in and took the tests. They're threatening to take that from all those people. You know, what did he say about alligator? What did you hear what he said the other day about the crazy
Alcatraz?
Yes, that alligator Alcatraz. You know, some of these people have. He said he called them sponsors.
Sponsors.
So CNN just released a report yesterday talking to some of these people's wives. Because they putting them out in the field. This is what people don't know. They're paying them $1 a day. You work 5 days. It costs you $5 to make a phone call, which is indentured servitude slavery. But he said
they're doing that already, or
yes. CNN did it.
Where?
CNN released.
Where are they doing it?
In Florida. CNN released this. CNN released it yesterday. This is since they've done that alligator thing. Yes.
And as I said before, in Folkestone, Georgia, they building the same system to house 3,000 inmates, migrants.
Where?
Down in South East Georgia.
Wow.
Folkestone, Georgia. It was in Atlanta Constitution
That's on the Florida border.
That's correct.
That's on the Florida, down by what's down there? Thomasville, that area down there?
No, that's Southeast Georgia, over there by Ludowici, back over that way.
Oh, I don't know that one. I don't know.
Over near the Okefenokee Swamp.
Over there near Waycross.
Okay.
Right, Waycross.
Yeah, over there near Waycross. Okay.
Got you. Okay. All right.
Look, what's getting me about this is, and I'm gonna say this, this strategy, in my opinion, of not having the people out front who could literally punch people in the mouth. Like Jasmine can punch people in the mouth. She does it really, really well. Like Jasmine punches them really, really well in the mouth. Like they get offended. That's why she's always on Fox.
They're working on getting rid of Jasmine.
Yeah, they trying their hardest to get rid of Jasmine.
They're getting ready to change her district.
Yeah. Are they really?
Yes.
Wow. They still got to show up. But see, I know some people in Texas. I was in Texas before the election last year, back in August, and I asked the people who I was doing work with, am I missing something? Because shouldn't Black people be voting in record numbers in Texas of all places? And it just didn't seem to be any sense of urgency. And this was a super successful engineer I was talking to. Engineer lawyer. It just didn't seem to be any sense of urgency. It's as if it, and it's some great people. There's some great people, but it didn't seem to be any sense of urgency. I was just floored. I was floored by my friends who just didn't seem like it was a sense of urgency to it. And I'm like,
I have to feel the pain.
That you're right. It's like it's the perfect analogy of the frog that's in the pot.
Correct.
And it's the perfect analogy. It's like, how bad does this have to get? And so let me tell y'all something right quick. So earlier this week, I get a text 6 o'clock or whatever time I got it, and it was late in the evening on Monday from this developer in our neighborhood who was approved to develop a property, and said, Leonard, did you know about this? And so I'm like, know about what? So they text me and they send me this agenda for the Fulton County Commissioner. It says they're talking about taking away we have what they call a TAD, tax allocation district. And what that tax allocation district is, like, well, hey, we have one in Buckhead, we have one in Midtown, and we have one over here called the West Side TAD. And what it does, it takes a certain amount of your property taxes go into this fund to spur development. So she texted me to say, did you know that the Fulton County Commissioner is about to try to take away your TAD? And hadn't advertised it, hadn't did anything. And it was co-sponsored by this commissioner out of Alpharetta, Sandy Springs, Kenneth, and co-sponsored by a Black woman. And so I'm like, what? They're gonna take it, because if you take away this TAD right now, and the bonds have been floated for it, Marion, they're due in 2038. If you take away this TAD, you will literally the little bit of development, Kenneth, we had over here, you'll stop it cold. You'll stop it in its tracks. And so it's an existential threat. So she says, hey, I think you really need to come down here and speak about it. And you need to rally your people. Now, the vote was going to be on Wednesday this past week. So let me tell you how the language looked. Our TAD, Marion, has been doing so well. We have a surplus of $41.8 million in our TAD. They were going to disband out. He was suggesting they disband out our TAD, nobody else's TAD, and take the money to do what they wanted to do with the money. $41.8 million on the agenda. Hadn't told anybody in our neighborhood, and my two neighborhoods that I represent. Sprung it on one or two of the commissioners who didn't even know it was coming for a vote. Our chairperson is an older Black guy. Had put it on the agenda. He's going to be the tie-breaking vote. Check this out, Marion. The language stated that not only could they come in and take the money, tell me if this sounds familiar, any projects that we had approved since as far back as 2018, if they had the money had been allocated but not funded,
Not spent.
they could take that money back. So if we had projects over here that had been started but not finished, they could take that money and have them sitting there. That's how bad they were. Like, we're not going to do that. I was like, well, who the hell would trust you not to do that? And you've done this. And it was going to start, Kenneth, that night.
That night?
The night of the vote. If they won, It was going to start that night. Not January. They were going to disband it and start it that night.
So you couldn't go to court and get an injunction
that night. So we had a MPU meeting the next day, and we're not even gonna talk about it. That became a shit show because I got on there and said, look, something we really need to talk about because this is an existential threat to our neighborhood. I mean, this gets stopped. And here's the kicker. We've been trying to stop market forces from coming to the neighborhood, Marion. If they had stopped that TAD, that would have turned on the faucets for the market to work. In other words, prices would have went up, investors would have came in because we're right across. Well, you see where we are. Marion, you were down here, that whole district. Right. All right. So, make a long story short, what are they going to do with the funds? Yeah, that's what we said. What are you going to do with the funds? They would tell us they might give it to help the Fulton County jails. It's like, what? So I had a contact at the mayor's office, and I text him, and I never text him because I just don't want to text him and ask. You know, he's an insider, and I send him a text. Normally he'll take at least 24 hours to 48 hours to respond to my text, right? Because I never text because I'm like, I'm not going to start texting you now that you're in this important position. You know, I know you're not for 20 years, but I'm not just going to do that. He texts me back in 5 minutes. Boom. Hey, man, this is bad. This is complete bullshit. You need to go down there and give them hell. And you need to give many people give them hell. It's illegal. And what they're doing is inequitable. That he would come down here and decide that he would go after your TAD, take money from a predominantly black neighborhood. He didn't go after anybody else's TAD. Nobody's, just ours. So
Republican too, right?
Yeah, Republican?
Yes, but she's not. She's supposed to be a black Democrat. Part of my neighborhood sits in her district. She's a co-sponsor. So my point to y'all is this.
Who's she?
Yeah,
Say her name. Say her name. Say her name.
I have no problem saying her name. Khadijah Abdul Rahim. That's her name. So my land use chairman comes up with a pretty good strategy because that's what she does. She looks at the variances, blah, blah, blah. She says, this is what the language says. This language is bad, blah, blah, blah. You need to look at it. I can't believe you're trying to do this. So we get up down there. Me and Clint and I go down there and we ask people to show. He's like, you need to show up in droves. That's why they did it so quick because they didn't want people to show up, Marion. They tried to do it whereas they didn't get the mob to show up. Right, but the tax allegation,
public pushback. Yeah, public pushback.
But it's huge. So all that development, Kenneth, you see down on 10th and North Side, that's the TAD. All that new development down there, that's the TAD. They normally get their starting money from the TAD. So Kenneth comes in, he wants to build something. He says, "Hey, can I get $750,000 to start my project?" And once he gets that $750,000, he typically can get the financing for the rest. Typically, he can get the financing for the rest. So we go down there, and I had made up my mind. Yes, I had made up my mind. I had wrote something down. I was gonna call Bob Ellis out because my contact at the office like, look, you need to call him out. Like, you don't need to be polite about it. But my thing is right now, Ken, if you know how I feel about this. I'm not going to be polite to you. I don't think we should be using civil language. They don't listen to niceness. Matter of fact, they think niceness is a weakness. So we go down there. I get to speak. I call him out by name. And I say, you had a TAD. You had a TAD in Alpharetta and Sandy Springs. You got to do development. Why would you be coming after our TAD? I said, it's overreach at best and it's assiduous at worst.
Well, what did he say?
They can't comment to public comment. All you could do is do public comment. You've been in those meetings where they're not going to let you get in the back and forth with the commissioners, but you can call them out. And then I called her out. I was like, what are you doing? Marion, Colette followed me up. Colette followed me up and turned into Winnie Mandela. Kenneth, he's sitting up there looking at her paper. My wife's going, Bob Ellis, don't read your paper while I'm talking to you.
Did she have the neckties too?
She was like, yeah, that's what I said. I was like, Clint, might well call for the neckties and the gasoline. He looked back down. She says to him, this is all on Zoom. She says to him, I said, don't look at your paper while I'm talking to you. If I come down here and speak, the least you can do is show me respect by acting like you're going to pay attention to what I got to say.
Go on for that.
Then she turns around to the audience, Mary, and she says, if they don't want to do what we say, vote them all out. She do it like this. I'm like, girl, you might well be going boom by yay, boom by yay. So
going back to the rumble in the jungle.
So
rumble in the jungle.
What ended up happening is Marvin Arrington's son, Marvin Jr., convinced them to put it on hold, which may effectively kill it, might not effectively kill it. But my point being, what I was trying to say is the time for talking to these people, my thing with Bob Ellis at the time was to punch him in his nose. Yeah, I'm not down here to be nice to you. I'm not going to be nice to you. I'm going to be borderline disrespectful. Go ahead.
Okay, let me ask you something.
Shoot.
Did you get any press coverage because of that?
I don't know.
Was there any press there? Did anybody talk about it? See, this is what
I don't even know if the press knew.
The reason why I say that is because one thing I teach my students, I say one thing that government doesn't like is for somebody to shine a light on their bullshit. If you want stuff effective, go to the media in Atlanta and say, this is what they're trying to do, and point him out by name. And then they're going to go to him and put him on camera and make him say, why are you trying to go after that particular tag? What is it about that tag that you think you need to take the money from them when your tag has a surplus and all that? If you want money from tag, why don't you take that?
No, that's our
go
surplus.
Put him on, have him do it on record.
They don't have
I'm saying the tag. Oh, okay. What I'm saying is, well, whatever. If you want to take away a tag, take away your tag. If you don't think you need the tag, take away. Yeah, somebody don't need it. Take away yours, and that way you can put them, have him go on the record as saying why he wants to do it, why he thinks it's relevant, or to back down. Normally they back down because they don't want a light to be shined on their bullshit. I'm telling you, government do not like, which is one reason why Trump gets so mad when people call him out on his bullshit. Because they don't like a light. They like to do stuff in the dark and think people won't find out about it. In this age, in this day and age, I'm telling you, you call the media and you tell them, hey, this is what they're trying to do in the city of Atlanta, due to my NPU, and go in there, blah, 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 and tell them the story. And say we confronted the Fulton County Commission, and they haven't responded. All they did was table what we're talking about. They need to end this conversation, period. That cannot have, they can't have that vote. Go at it like that. And I'm telling you, it will make them go see him.
I think Leonard Jones is trying to tell y'all something. He's saying enough. Is he saying enough said? So is he saying enough said on this subject? Oh
no, he was saying enough said about what they were doing. That he was
right.
Said it was borderline fraud.
Okay.
Leonard, you do need to figure out a way, call a press conference, do something, talk to somebody in the media about that, because that is something that is they're trying to take away your funds, which we already discussed, and you need to shine a light on it. And if they hadn't already picked up on it, this is the way to make them pick up on it. That's you control the narrative. He who goes to the press first controls the narrative. Remember that.
I'm right at Mr. Marketing. What you got to say, Marion? What's your comment?
My comment is that I've come to the realization that the emphasis should not be on trying to convert Trump voters.
Yes,
to our cause.
I agree.
They have, as we used to say, they have sipped all the Jim Jones Kool-Aid. But get the non-aligned voters and our voters to come out. That's the only way you're going to be able to beat these clowns.
I agree with Kenneth. Here's what I think that what I felt when I first saw it was this. I said, the grift is on. I've said this. I've been saying this for the longest. I've been saying, hey, it's not that complicated to me. Everything is a grift. and I'm gonna go off on a tangent a little bit here. When I saw that Christy Nome last week did not send out FEMA because she is the only one that can authorize any contracts over $100,000. The first thing I was thinking is, yeah, because she need to grift it. That's what I was thinking. That's her department where she can make her billions or her millions, and she not letting anybody have a contract that's probably not kicking back something. That's just how I felt about it. That's what I thought about it, and it came in bitter in the ass. I agree with Kenneth to a certain degree. I don't know. I think that may work for some corporations right now to embarrass them publicly. I don't know if it necessarily works for any of these representatives. I think they have taken their.
It does, because he's local. They're local. Local is different from national.
Yeah,
local is different from national. You start, and also too. This is the thing. Now it might not work for the dude in Alpharetta, but Khadija Muhammad. We coming for her. Definitely work against her. It is. Her stuff is the fact that she supported this, co-sponsored it, is ridiculous. Now her only, I guarantee you, she gonna come on. I didn't know what it was talking about. That's what she's gonna say.
Oh no,
that's exactly what she's going to say. She gonna backtrack.
She had an obligation to all the members of the Fulton County residents, as if to say the city of Atlanta is not within the Fulton County residents. She started coming up with all kinds of stuff, which was bullshit. But you didn't even come to the community that's most affected and say, how do you feel about this? And the reason you didn't, because you knew. And so we were trying to, so now the thing is, well, what you getting out of it? Like, because that's just common sense.
And that's the thing. She's talking about, she's worried about all the citizens of Fulton County. How is that helping the citizens of the rest of the county? It's hurting one section, helping others. So if you're worried about everybody being affected or helping all the citizens of Fulton County, why would you take money from one section of Fulton County? That's my point.
It's a reverse tax.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, you've already taxed us for
the bunch of bullshit.
You don't take away our tax dollars to send to somebody else. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench into this conversation.
Go for it.
Y'all should have spent the money.
Huh?
When the government gives you money,
you know what?
You don't hold on.
But in this case, you're talking about development. You got to get people to come in.
You spend it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one. I understand where you're coming from. I understand you're coming from, but our surplus is supposed to be targeted. Mary, I'm glad you're on this phone call, Mary, because you came and had lunch at our retail site, right? You went on that strip. You were right across from the Walmart. You see we need the development.
Yes.
You see we need that money. And what happens is they come before our MPU and an adjacent MPUs that are up against one another. And then they say, hey, we want to come do such. And then we either approve it or give a recommendation for approval, which you always would much rather have a recommendation than a non-recommendation. And so sometimes, but you're right. That's one of the things we're going to be talking about over the next month is, hey, all these projects have been approved. Why haven't we had the groundbreaking for them yet? What the hell is going on? What are y'all doing? Because
who's holding it up? Is it money?
Huh?
Because you have money, seed, basically, let's say seed money. So what's holding up the project?
I take full responsibility because as the MPU chair for the last 7 months, it hadn't even been on my radar. And I should have been down at those meetings all the time because I'm allowed, I should be at some of the meetings and saying just those questions. What's holding up these projects? What are we doing? Why haven't they had broken ground? What's the deal? But as I told my contact down in Invest Atlanta the other day, it won't happen again. So get me some time with the head of the head of Invest Atlanta so I can ask her personally, what are we doing? You know, the TAD advisory board that I'm allowed to put 3 people on, okay, you need to get that fired back up. And we need to do what we're supposed to do. This will never happen again. This will never surprise us like this again. And I'm not going to be nice about it. That was a big thing.
And How many years have you had a surplus? How many years have you had a surplus?
Don't know. This is the first time it came up. But the TAD has been around for a while. The TAD has been around since 2008. Remember, they float bonds for it. It matures in 2030. The main reason why they put it on hold was because the bond attorney came in and said, you know, you're about to fire up a whole bunch of lawsuits. Y'all about to get sued the hell out of because Fulton County, you decide that you don't want to put in as much money as the TAD as you agreed to. Like the property tax money that you take from over here, you don't want to give this much. In other words, me and you, y'all can understand it. Me, we form a group, we go to a bank, and we decide we're going to get a loan, and we say Marion's going to pay 60%, and Kenneth and Leonard are going to pay 20, right? So 40, 40, 60 equals 100. And we want a loan for this much, blah, 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 blah. And the bank says, okay, I'm going to go into business with this group, whatever, whatever. And then 5 years down the road, Kenneth comes back and says, hey, man, I don't want to pay but 10%. The bank going to go, I don't give a damn what you want to pay. That's your problem.
We want our money.
If you don't think Marion, let Marion and Leonard not doing what they're doing, we suing all of y'all. We not just suing him, we suing Marion, Leonard, because Kenneth, you need to go get Kenneth straight. That's the gist of what he came in and said, you're going to get a lawsuit. So we put it on hold because it was like, you need to have more discussions about this. But they were just going to try to ram it through and take the money. And excuse me. So from here on out, from here to the end of the year, like as I told them, we won't make that mistake again. And what it convinced me, Kenneth, was what it did convince me to do was I've been telling Marion I was going to do this for the last month, was to get on and talk about more politics and land and to call people out. People got to be called out by name, man. This ain't working no more. If you're not an effective legislator, you got to go.
I agree with that 1,000%.
And if you can't motivate people to vote and you're not going to fight,
needs to go.
You need to go. You need to go. And people got to call you out. It can't be, man, don't talk about the black people like that. Man, fuck that. If you're not effective to slow down this train and you can't get Pookie or whoever down the basketball court to even consider voting, you might not be the person. You might not be the person for us. You might not be.
Akeem Jeffrey needs to go.
I want to know how Kenneth felt about this. I have a weird thing about that. We want Akeem to do certain things, right? We're mad at Akeem for doing certain things. And I saw him speak, and I didn't think he was motivating. But you don't want him to take AIPAC money, but we not contributing to his coffers. Right, Marion? We don't want to take AIPAC money. But where are we to say, look, man, don't take that money. You gonna take $250 for them? No, keep that, let them keep. We got $500,000 for you over here. That's on us. Because to be a politician, it costs money to run a campaign.
First of all,
go ahead.
I don't give a damn where you get your money. I don't give a damn where you get your money from, as long as you do the right thing. Okay. Money, if that money he's getting from AIPAC allows him to do the right thing, then shit, take all they goddamn money. Fuck them. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but you can't.
You got to do the right thing.
You can't be on no rally going.
You got to do the right thing.
Right.
That's my point. That's my point. I'm saying that's the point I'm trying to make. You got to do the right thing. That. I don't give a shit where your money comes from, as long as you do the right thing. Now, the fact that, and I'll say this, that whole Gaza Israel thing is one of the most complicated shits out there in the world. That shit is complicated as hell. And, on the one hand, we all know Israel is wrong as two left shoes on a one-legged man. That shit ain't gonna work. We know they wrong as hell. But we also know that Hamas plays a part in this as well. They're not totally innocent in all this. So to even step into that issue is a minefield, because you're not going to please everybody. You're not going to please everybody, because there is no pleasing everybody on this issue. It's not. No matter what you say, you're going to offend somebody about it. Now, having said that, I think he can be a little bit, and I think U.S. politicians need to be a little bit more forceful with Israel about stopping some of the bullshit that they do. I do believe
Bernie
that.
Sanders does that. Bernie Sanders criticizes Israel all the time.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Your mouth is saying one thing, but your vote is saying something else. Criticizing somebody, I can criticize people all day long, but if I'm still supporting what they're doing financially, my criticism don't mean shit. If we turn off that well, or at least turn down that spigot, that's a spigot of money that's going into Israel, they'll stop some of that shit. Because money talk, bullshit walk. Let's be real. That old saying, money talks, bullshit walk. If we stop giving them money, they'll stop doing the bullshit because they won't be able to afford the bullshit. And if they do keep doing the bullshit, that's on their dime, not on ours. Because I can guarantee you the money we give to them, we can send it somewhere else or keep it here and do a whole lot more good than what they're doing with it.
The evangelicals are waiting on the rapture.
Fuck them. God, they need to rapture their damn self. You waiting on Jesus? Go ahead and meet him quicker. Do it yourself. Don't wait on. Just go see it.
Hey man,
I'm over all of that. I'm really over all of it.
I couldn't have put that better myself. If you really, really want the rapture, it's one sure way to get there for yourself. It's one sure way. You ain't got to cause the rest of us no pain. It's one sure way to get there, but you ain't got to cause the rest of us no pain. I'm not waiting on the goddamn rapture. So just because you're waiting on it don't mean you got to bring me into it. I think that piggybacking on what y'all said, I think that first they've done a hell of a job keeping it on the front page through TikTok and social media because the images are horrific. Second, you got all these people reporting. Like I saw a guy the other day, UN's not UN, it was another group saying, look, all of these food lines are a mousetrap.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a mousetrap, and they showing the maze. They saying, look, we can show you the maze, how they're pushing them this way. And as soon as they get here, they start shooting.
They're bombing. Yeah, they bomb and shoot. Yeah, they keep doing that.
That is brutality that it's hard to look away from those images. Like, truth of the matter, it's hard to, they've done a better job of making that more brutal than they're doing in, wouldn't you say, Yemen? Like, Yemen is brutal too. But even the people fighting in Yemen aren't going in and attacking refugee camps. That's the difference, right? I'm not saying they're not starving them. I'm just saying they're not dropping bombs on them. They're not setting tents on fire, and which is what the Israeli government is doing. And I think we're finally past this. Every time I speak out about the brutality of the Israeli government that's anti-Semitic, no, it's not anti-Semitic. I'm just a humanist, and what you're doing is just dead ass wrong. And I agree. I don't know what else you want people like Bernie Sanders to do because they still at the end of the day only have one vote in the Senate. Is that what you're saying, Mary? They only got one vote. Bernie can talk about it, but they only have one vote.
But in the end,
well, Bernie.
But in the end, whether one vote or not, he's not calling for not giving Israel any money. He just called them out on what they did.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he
did. Okay, all right. Well, I stand corrected.
Yes, he did. He has vehemently said, "Do not send them any more weapons. This is not the way to handle this." And
do you think the problem is that the Palestinians and the Gazans do not solicit any empathy from the wider world?
They don't. I'm gonna say this. This is my theory. My theory has been for the last 5 years that people really don't respect how African Americans, particularly African Americans in the South, got their civil rights, and they chose the nonviolent way, understanding they couldn't beat that army if they had came back from World War II and started a military operation. And so Hamas and I agree with Kenneth, Hamas has made it that it's more honorable, because they say this, to be martyred than it is to try. My brother Brian. See how I learned, Kenneth? I didn't say my little brother. My brother Brian.
I'm sure he
has always
appreciates that.
Has always said they don't want to try another way. Like, I don't care. I will tell anybody that's sympathetic with Hamas, October 7th was the dumbest thing y'all could have did. What leader made that decision?
October 7th?
Yeah, y'all don't have no planes. Y'all don't have no tanks. Y'all don't have more guns. You don't have not one ally that's going to supply you with the tonnage of weapons. What made you think you could beat that standing army? What made you
know something?
Well,
there's certain
the United
things.
States took on the British in 1776. Didn't have an army or navy either.
You got to stop. Go ahead, Kenneth. You got to stop. Come on. We're not even. Come on now. We're not.
This whole. The way things are working in this world now, and I'm not by no stretch of the imagination of my conspiracy theories, but one thing I do believe that Israel allowed it to happen, or at least Netanyahu and his warhawks, they allowed it to happen, because Israel can find out the address of anybody Hamas, find out where they live and bond them. And you mean to tell me they came up with a major military action, and y'all were surprised with that? That took years in the planning, and you didn't know anything about that?
There's two sides to that. Two sides. Wait. It's two sides to that coin, though. Before you start clapping, Israel has to know your mentality to know that you'll take the bait. They got to know you'll take the bait.
Yeah.
So Israel has to know your leadership.
Listen,
I leave this open.
Let it.
Yeah, right. It's like a counterpunch.
I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this. I wouldn't even put it past them. This is what a conspiracy theorist, a little bit that comes out of me. I wouldn't put it past them if they didn't come up with the goddamn idea. That they didn't put it out there. I wouldn't put it past them, because the only in this whole situation, who is the one person that's benefited from all of this? One. There's only one.
Netanyahu.
There you go. Because Netanyahu, not only was he about to be out of power, he was about to be he was indicted. He was about to go to prison. And this whole thing happened right around the time his stuff was supposed to hit the fan. He's the only one in this whole situation that has benefited from this. The only one. So the fact that the idea that they may have put it out there, came up with, had one of their spies put it out there, say, hey, why don't we do this and do this and do this and do that? Because Israel, one thing I've noticed when they did with the who was that? When they did the pager thing. What group was that? Not Hamas, not PLO.
Hezbollah.
What's the other one?
Hezbollah.
Yeah. They've been working on Hezbollah, that shit with Hezbollah with the peoples. They worked on that for years. That wasn't a one-day thing. Worked on it for years. So who's to think that Israel didn't put this plan in place, Netanyahu didn't put this plan in place years ago and tell them, hey, why don't we go ahead and attack them? So that way, we can we attack them, and then we can counterattack. And they attack us, we can counterattack, and we can start a war. And then we can get that land.
I think we ought to remind people who don't know what you're talking about. Last August, if you all remember, simultaneously at the same time over in Lebanon, beepers exploded.
That was gangster.
Beepers exploded. That was gangster.
That was gangster as hell. That was gangster as hell. And at the same time, simultaneously around the country,
it killed or maimed many Hezbollah leaders and lieutenants. And what I saw a guy, it's funny, Kenneth, I saw a guy who went back and looked at it like the end of September. He said what they were able to do was they got into the supply chain and they brought a company.
Oh, yeah.
That the supply chain gave out the beepers.
Hollywood never thought about something like that.
Right. Because Hezbollah wasn't using cell phones like that. They still went back to using beepers. And because beepers are harder to infiltrate Pegasus. And so, I mean, like I said, there's always two sides of these corners, which is we're sitting here going, man, that was vicious. But we're sitting there going, boy, that was a hell of a way to think. It was. So it get back to what we're talking about.
That was, as Mary said, that was straight gangster.
Yeah, I don't think people like the way. I don't think people respect the way African Americans in the South said we're going to take up nonviolence. I just don't. I think they come and they live off of it. But a lot of men.
But this is the thing, though. See, Leonard, one of the things that you're missing in all of this is Hamas, the Palestinians, the Gazans, and all of them. Those people, they have been for years not doing anything, and nothing has changed. Stuff has gotten worse, and the Israelis, going all the way back to 1972, has always framed anybody they consider their enemy as being violent, from the littlest kid to the oldest woman. They consider them to be violent. They have framed that narrative. So anything when Israelis, when people from Gaza throw a rock, Israelis open a barrage of fire, start shooting. Basically, you throw a rock, I shoot.
Oh,
you send one rocket, I bomb an entire neighborhood. So they frame them as not being human. That's what they frame them. That's why they don't get sympathy. It's not because they're trying to because of anything that the Gazans have done. It's because Israel has framed all of their enemies as not being human. So since they're not human, you don't have to give them any sympathy because they ain't human.
Kenneth, I'm gonna say this,
and that's different from the civil rights movement.
I'm gonna say this: the Palestinians, this is a hard thing for people to swallow, have made some tremendous mistakes. And Marion, I know you know about this. When the King of Jordan, right after the 6-Day War, or was there at the 6-Day War, early 60s, decided to accept refugees in Jordan, in southern Jordan, Yasser Arafat, when they had like 800,000 Palestinians down there, came out and claimed that they now were the owners of that land.
Just like the Jews did.
Right. They were going to carve out that section of Jordan. And the King of Jordan, what's his name? He married the white lady. What was her name? Grace Kelly. What was his name? The King of Jordan married the other lady from here. What was his name, Marion?
Right, he married Grace Kelly's daughter.
No. Yeah. What was his name? The king. His son is the King of Jordan now. One of the things he did was he went down and put down that rebellion. And his thing was, I let you in here. I let you in here to give you, because they were running you out, and you turn on us like this. And they just and so then you lose a friend in Jordan. You don't have a friend in the Saudis. They've made some, I don't know, maybe it's above my pay grade. I know they're getting slaughtered right now. I know it was 2.7 million Gazans by October 7th. I know they're down to 1.7 million right now since October 7th.
Who's taking them?
Who's taking
them?
Yeah, nobody, because Egypt doesn't trust them. So they just push them closer to the Egyptian border. At the end of the day, Kenneth, you're 100% right. At the end of the day, this is because we have proof of this. If we stop supplying them, they're going to stop. Because that's the only reason that Ariel Sharon went to the table in the first place, because Ronald Reagan said, I tell you what, I'm going to cut off that $1.2 billion they were giving them at the time. He forced them to go down and negotiate. And what they do, they assassinated Sharon. The Orthodox Jews assassinated him. But he was forced.
Perez, wasn't it?
Was it? No, it was Rabin.
It was Rabin, not Ariel Sharon.
Yeah, it was Rabin. It was Rabin.
Yitzhak
Rabin. Assassinated.
Yitzhak Rabin.
Yeah. So, I don't. All I'm saying is, I know we went all over the place. All I'm saying is, my empathy. I keep saying this in my post. I get that Black people are mad because I always try to frame sense in the term of my community, because I really can't do anything about the other community because we got so many issues in our community that need to be fixed in order to get us to have some cohesion. That cohesion, that's just been my thing right now. It's just how do we create cohesion? But I can't. It's hard for me to sit there and watch bombs being dropped on tents. You know, that's just rough. Or ambulance drivers being shot up because they're going to check up on other ambulance drivers. It's like they're training an army of assassins. That's what I keep saying to myself. Israel's training an army of assassins that they can deploy all over the world, and they get to come into the United States with no vetting. You know, if you're at the IDF, because that's what's going on over in Emory right now. You got some people who are former members of the IDF, and the students were protesting like, "Hey, we don't want them writing it. They are members of the IDF." And what they try to do, they try to put them students out of Emory.
But Netanyahu is on a roll right now. He's pulled Iran's bluff, showed them to be a paper tiger, and got the United States to bomb Iran, and really no hard response back from the Iranians.
I wouldn't do a response. What are they going to respond with? Israel knocked off all their air defenses, but they didn't get to that deep bunker nuclear facility. It's been interesting to see how they get in there. If Iran gets one nuclear bomb,
damage to that. They didn't get that.
Right. If Iran gets one nuclear bomb, everybody, the North Koreans
and,
know
and
it. Everybody knows.
I'm going to say this too.
Go ahead.
Don't count people out because you're not seeing them doing the immediate thing.
I agree.
You got to play chess. In today's world, in terms of warfare, chess will beat checkers every day. Long term. I'm sure Iran has mechanisms in place where they can respond. They just wait. Unfortunately, they have those. They are, because it doesn't make sense for them to just back down that quick unless they got a backup plan somewhere. That's too much saber rattling for them to back down that quick. They got something in the works. They just ain't done it yet. Hopefully, it won't come here. That's what I hope. It won't come here. Unfortunately, that used piece of toilet paper that's sitting in the damn White House, then if he hadn't stepped his dumb ass in there, we might have been all right with this situation. But unfortunately, he wants to be king for a day and decide to do something unilaterally that's could cost us. So hopefully, as I said, they don't bring it here, but they definitely going to respond. They're definitely going to respond, and it's going to be a response from within, not without.
I want to make
outside.
I want to make a quick turn. And I want y'all to respond and comment on this. What do you think we should do with these tech bros? And they've been all over the internet lately. Like Peter Thiel the other day in his New York Times interview said he didn't know if the human race should not go extinct. That there's this thing called transhumanism, where it's the AI males with humans. Another guy,
Leonard, you mentioned that shit before. Let me say something. We got more immediate problems and stuff you talking about down 40 years down the line. We got more immediate problems.
Whoa.
10 years, 5 years down the line. We got more. The human race, I don't think the human race should exist and all that. That if that's something we got to deal with, we got to deal with down the line. We got more immediate problems.
Hold on. Let me respond to that. I think if you go, I would normally agree with you. I really would. I'd normally say that. The founder of OpenAI is at a convention sometime last week that says his timeline now is 2028. He says
even still, we got problems that's coming up in 2025 that we got to deal with.
Can I finish? They have no regulations on this new technology that may make 2025 obsolete, 2026. I'm just asking you all who have grandkids, what are we doing about these guys? Like, if you really believe it's going to be 40 years down the road, why are all these people who invented it saying, no, it's here? It's here, and they're thinking on their own. And we haven't put in stuff in place to slow it down. I'm just, why do you believe it's 20 years down the road when the people who invented it say, no, it's right around the corner?
What I'm saying, Leonard, what I'm saying is this. We can't fight every damn battle at the same damn time. That is something down the line that we have to deal with. Right now, we have to deal with homelessness, job loss, loss of funding for immediate things, day-to-day stuff. That's what we got to deal with first. Because if we don't deal with the first part, we ain't gonna get to the second part. So Peter Thiel and all that, as far as I'm concerned, he could pass out right now on fire, and I wouldn't even spit on him, put the fire. I don't give a shit about him. I don't give a shit about none of them motherfuckers. And I'm being real honest with you. I don't give a shit about them. If they fall off a fucking building right now on top of a damn car, I'd be upset about the person whose car got fucked up. That's what I'd be upset about. You fucked up my car. That's what I care about.
Okay.
Dr. Lively.
Those people are less than human to me. I don't give a shit about them. I don't give a shit what happens to them. Fuck them. Fuck the people that made them.
You, boy.
Well, she watched me from heaven. She know what I'm thinking, so it don't mind. It don't count no more.
We got the point, Dr. Lively. We got the point. We got the point.
All of them.
We got the point. We got the point.
I hope they walk outside right now and get struck by a meteorite. That's how much I give a shit about them.
We got the point, Dr. Lively. Go ahead, Marion. What's your
Dr. Lively, you know better than most that the AI is already happening. I know you know that some of your kids are using chat.
I've only had one.
Whatever, to write papers.
So funny. I only had one.
Chat GPT right now to write papers. And going down the line, all your papers are going to be chat GPT, whatever it is. My kids, I'm trying to write this book. My kids took my book and put it through chat GPT and rewrote the whole thing in 15 minutes.
You been writing a book for 20 years.
They rewrote it and took chat and rewrote it in 15 minutes. Sound pretty good too.
So what's your take on it, Marion? That's not something we need to be worried about.
Yes, I think so. But I'm with you. I mean, I'm with. It's not something that's that immediate. We got Trump to deal with.
Okay, when they come up with a robotic Trump that's AI and all these new robots that are now learning,
he can die too. Okay. He can die too. We'll figure out a way to get rid of him too. All of them.
Hey, didn't you just say stop saying stuff like that? Did you just tell me that last week? Don't say nothing like get rid of him. Don't say nothing like that on this platform.
Hey, you said robotic. I said robotic Trump can die too. That's what I said.
Make sure you say robotic. And they say it again. Say it one more time, so they don't be knocking on me in your door and be down there.
Robotic.
Okay.
Secret Service while watching you.
I know. That's why we can't. That's why our stuff keep glitching because the Secret Service. Somebody glitching us.
Hey,
they
man,
don't want to hear what we got to say.
I'm gonna end it with this. CBS News Online did a quote unquote deep dive into the would-be assassin. And I literally left that article going, ain't no way. Ain't no way. And ain't no way that somebody didn't talk that boy into doing that. It ain't no way. And how he used all these cloaking apps. But the FBI says, yes, he was. I'm going, let me tell you what one thing in the article that got me. The sheriff, they saw him, right? Like what he was doing when they broke it down was he had a lot of people who saw him, right? Like they had called, hey, you look suspicious. They had called, say, you look suspicious. When they saw him run back to his truck, he had brought a gun from his father, got the gun, and he was climbing over the building. He had folks calling saying this dude climbing up on the building.
Correct.
He gets to the top, A sheriff follows him, and the thing that got me that the sheriff said that made me pause was he said when he got to the top, the kid turned around and he looked at him with complete surprise, like he was shocked that I was climbing up to see him. Like what are you doing up here? And I'm like, ain't no way he thought he either was told to do that. I hate jumping in conspiracy theories, but I have a friend of mine that was in the army who told me, wait, let me finish. God damn it. I have a friend of mine.
Conspiracy theory is that the sheriff saw him and did the Barney Fife fell.
The what?
You know, when he was getting ready, he was standing on top of the other sheriff to get a shot at him and he fell. You know.
And Kenneth, I had a friend of ours from Augusta who was in the Marines who told me, Leonard, do you know how an AK-47 bullet comes out the barrel? He was like, it tumbles. I didn't know this. He's like, it tumbles. He said, it doesn't go straight. He said, it tumbles. He said, anything it touches is tearing up. Is that true? He said, anything it touches is tearing up. He said, if it hits your ear, it ain't gonna just be no little speck. It's gonna tear your ear up. He said, I don't think it clips your ear. Huh? Is that right? Is that true, Kenneth?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a firearms expert, but I do know if you get shot in your ear ain't gonna be there. That much I do know. With any gun, it's gonna be more blood than what he got. Any time a 22 hit your ear, it's gonna be bleeding more than that. But what my thing is, I knew it was bullshit when the sniper, sneaker service sniper, shot that kid after he shot at, quote unquote, shot at Trump. I knew that was some bullshit because did you got your job is you have the sniper and you have a spotter and you always looking around, scoping out. Your job to have the high ground is to see what's out there, and you can't see anybody that's directly in your line of sight. That's the first person you would see. You can't see somebody sitting on top of a building. And then you talk about people calling and all this, and calling 911, and nobody from the Secret Service gets wind of this 911 call. It is a guy on the building. That right there is enough. I don't care about you don't need the proof from the bullet touching anybody. You don't need anything about the sheriff's deputies climbing up and falling down right before he shoot. The fact that the Secret Service did not see that dude. They didn't see him. That's impossible, man. That is impossible. You have direct line of sight to shoot him and to kill him with one shot, but you didn't have the right line of shot to even see him sit. You didn't see that direct line to see him sitting on the building to begin with, directly across from you.
Shot him in the face.
That doesn't make any sense, man. That under no circumstance, under no world, does that make sense? So, irregardless, to me, it doesn't make a difference about the other facts and all that, everything else that they're doing. That thing right there tells me that this was not that he did not shoot that one, like you said, Leonard. Somebody told him to go up there. He thought he was protecting the president.
I believe he was mentally off and was influenced.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, anybody support his ass is mentally off any damn way.
Well, according to Arca, that was the thing. Both his parents are 30-year social workers, and even when they talk to us, if you get a chance to read it, like I said, I read it, and I read it, and I walked away just being uneasy. I walked away having a lot of empathy for his parents who won't even go outside right now unless it's dark. That was the first thing. My other empathy was all of his friends were like, his father said, look, there's some things that changed over the last 6 months. I think I should have noticed, but I'm going, well, anybody will say that after they think their son did something like that. Like, you know, like, okay, that was off. But his other friends were like, he never showed any inclination. And my biggest issue was he kept getting on these cloaking apps. And I'm like, okay, if he's on a cloaking app, he could be talking to anybody, right? Anybody could be talking to him secretly. But it seems to me that from what they were saying about him, it's like almost everybody else, Dylan Roof, right? They went back to Dylan Roof after the church shooting, right? And they found all these manifestos Right. So it's like, oh shoot, you've been playing this for a while. The dude that shot up the Buffalo store. Remember that, Marion? They go back to this stuff. There's all these manifestos about race wars. The dude down in Texas who goes into the Walmart. Go back to this stuff. It's all these manifestos. The dude that just shot the people up in the Democrats up in Minnesota. Go back. Well, he got all these manifestos. This kid didn't have nothing. Nothing. I'm like, what? He made
no trail at all.
They said he had an improvised explosive device in his room, but they nothing, absolutely nothing. I'm like, nah, I don't believe that. I just can't. I don't believe that. So, but anyway, y'all, we at 11:21. Marion, I appreciate you coming on. You always welcome to come on.
At the last second.
At last second. Yeah, it was last second. Kenneth, I told him, I said, don't come on here with no old man t-shirt on that's wrinkled and got coffee stains on it either. He said he was going to cut his yard.
He's so disrespectful. So disrespectful.
I'm at that age. I can say what I want to say now too. But anyway, thanks everybody for coming to join us. Mary and Kenneth, I hope you have a good day. Y'all say goodbye.
Enjoy Amtrak.
We can take 5 more minutes so we can get the story behind that. You're not going to tell us?
All right, so this is the story. I'm currently, where am I? I'm in Atlantic City for my lively family reunion. So I decided, my brother and I and my nieces, we all decided we're going to take Amtrak instead of flying.
Okay.
Leaving out Amtrak, we had the closest Amtrak stations in Columbia, South Carolina. Our train was supposed to leave at 4:00 in the morning. I get an alert saying it's going to be delayed, but I call them. They said, call us. So I called them. They said, oh, it's only 10 minutes late. I'm like, okay, so I'll be there on time. I leave about 1:45 in the morning, drive to Columbia, get there a little lap. No. Yeah, about 1:30. No, 1:15. Leave there, get about 2:20 in the morning, get out there, train's delayed. How long is it delayed? I don't know. Train ended up leaving. It was supposed to leave at a little after 4, ended up leaving at about 7:00 in the morning.
Woo.
Get there, and there's more delays. We were supposed to arrive in Washington, D.C. to change trains at 2:00. We got there at 8:50. Supposed to be, now we're coming, like the ultimate thing is get to Atlantic City. Have to get it to Philadelphia. Get to Philadelphia. Able to catch the last train. The last train leaving for Philadelphia that night. Then the last New York Jersey transit train leaving for Philadelphia coming to Atlantic City. We got here at about a little before 3:00 in the morning. So I have been up for 24 hours, 25 hours, something like that, 26 hours, something like that at that point, 26 hours. And had a hard time getting into the hotel room. It was just a crazy, crazy thing. I was up till 4:00 in the morning. So that's my trip coming up here. Now things have been smooth since we got here. Not been a big deal, but that 25, 26 hour travel, damn near killed me. So that's my Amtrak story. And I still got to go. I still got to go back home.
Back home?
We really don't know. Eventually I got to come back home on Amtrak. But it was, I think, weather delays because it was delayed leaving Miami coming up anyway. So that's the Amtrak story. But it was, oh my God, it was an ordeal. Oh, and then the dining car wasn't open. All they had was the snack car. So we couldn't even get any real food while we were on the train the whole time.
Ouch.
I was like, man, this ain't cool at all.
Hey, man.
But all in all,
huh?
Yeah,
there's
but
no
I'm in Atlanta. Yeah, I'm in Augusta, and whatchamacallit.
That's why you're in Augusta. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatchamacallit is a little bit closer. Columbia's a little bit closer.
Look.
I probably should have gone to Atlanta. It would have been a whole lot better for me, but I decided to leave out of Columbia because my brother was leaving. So
my last comment to you is, you know damn well you were supposed to pack some cold chicken up in a Luna foil with and some vegetables. Now you keep talking. Look, Marion, he ain't learned that one lesson he ain't learned from when we were little. You know damn well that's your fault. You know damn well you should have acted like you couldn't go into the dining car.
I did. I didn't do the chicken because I can't stand cold chicken. That's one thing. I can't stand cold. I really don't like cold chicken. But I did have some snacks. We had snacks. That wasn't a problem. But I wanted a meal because I love riding on Amtrak. Man, I'll go in the dining car and have a nice meal. I love that stuff. But
your mama, your mama packed meals for your vacation trips when you were little. So stop. That's your fault. That's your fault.
I never said she
did. My mama packed damn sandwiches, and she was middle class. So don't even talk about it. You know better than that.
He throwing the middle class in there.
You threw it in that verse. When you said Leonard never raised though. They were raised up in the middle class.
Well, listen. Okay, well, you had your dark skin moment for the week. So.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, are you culturally elite?
You close to what?
Are you culturally elite?
Oh, you asked. Oh, hey, you know what? I meant to tell you. I took the Leonard. Marion sent me a survey on there, and I went through the survey. It said it basically confirmed what I've always said. What I always tell people about me. I'm bougie hood. That's what it confirmed, that I'm bougie hood. It confirmed. I looked at the results. I was like, oh shit. I said, oh shit. I really am bougie hood.
Hey, get her.
Yeah.
In your seersucker suit. All right, y'all. All right.
Kool-Aid out of the mason jar.
All right.
Say goodbye. Bye,
deuces.
y'all.
Is that deuces?
All right, y'all.
Yeah.
See y'all next week. Have a good week. Deuces.
Deuces.
No, deuces. He said, Marion said deuces. That's fine. Bye, y'all.
Bye.